Joe Rogan is no ordinary podcaster, he's a cultural force. Millions tune in, making him incredibly influential. His words matter. They shape opinions and beliefs. This power comes with responsibility, a responsibility to be truthful and accurate. Rogan's platform amplifies his voice. But what happens when that voice spreads misinformation? What happens when his predictions lack any basis in reality? This is where the danger lies. Uncritical listeners might accept his words as gospel, perpetuating harmful narratives. Recently, Joe Rogan made a concerning claim about Kamala Harris. He predicted that she would take away your First Amendment rights if given the chance. This statement is not only false, it's dangerous and misleading. The First Amendment is fundamental to American democracy and our way of life. It protects our freedoms of speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition, ensuring that we can express our views and beliefs freely. Rogan offered no evidence to support his alarming claim. Why? Because there is none. His assertion lacks any factual basis. In fact, Harris has consistently defended the First Amendment throughout her career. Her record as a prosecutor and senator demonstrates a strong commitment to justice and equality, not censorship or suppression of free speech. It's important to remember that the First Amendment is a cornerstone of our democracy, and any claims to the contrary should be scrutinized carefully. We must remain vigilant in protecting these rights and ensure that misinformation does not undermine our freedoms. Let's compare Rogan's prediction with reality. During Trump's presidency, the First Amendment faced real threats. Trump repeatedly attacked the media, labeling them the enemy of the people. He banned journalists he disliked from press conferences. This is not hyperbole. These were direct assaults on freedom of the press. Did Rogan express concern then? Where was his outrage? His silence during Trump's presidency speaks volumes. It reveals a double standard, a willingness to criticize one side while ignoring the transgressions of the other. Section 4. Selective outrage, Rogan's inconsistent stance. Joe Rogan, a prominent figure in media, often positions himself as a staunch advocate for free speech and open dialogue. However, Rogan's silence during Trump's relentless attacks on the press is deafening. Despite his vocal stance on free speech, he remained conspicuously quiet when the former president labeled the media as the enemy of the people. This silence undermines his credibility as a defender of free speech. By not addressing these attacks, Rogan inadvertently supports the erosion of journalistic integrity and the spread of misinformation. It suggests his outrage is selective, reserved only for those he disagrees with politically. This selective outrage raises questions about his true commitment to the principles he espouses. This is not how responsible discourse operates. In a healthy democracy, it is crucial to engage with differing viewpoints and hold all sides accountable. True defenders of the First Amendment stand up for it consistently, regardless of who is in power. They champion free speech as a fundamental right, not a tool for political convenience. They call out attacks from both the left and the right. This balanced approach is essential for maintaining trust and fostering a more informed public. Rogan's selective outrage erodes trust and fuels division. When influential figures like Rogan fail to apply their principles uniformly, it deepens societal divides and diminishes the credibility of their message. It's a disservice to his listeners and to the very principles he claims to uphold. For Rogan to truly be a champion of free speech, he must address these inconsistencies and stand firm in his convictions, regardless of political affiliation. Section 5. Defending Democracy, Harris's Track Record. Kamala Harris has dedicated her career to upholding the law and protecting the rights of all Americans. From her early days as a prosecutor to her current role as vice president, she has consistently demonstrated a commitment to justice and equality. As a prosecutor, she fought for justice for the marginalized. She took on cases that others shied away from, ensuring that every individual, regardless of their background, received fair treatment under the law. As a senator, she championed legislation to strengthen democracy. Her efforts included pushing for voting rights, criminal justice reform, and measures to protect the integrity of our electoral process. To suggest that she would dismantle the very foundation of American freedom is absurd. Such claims are not only unfounded but also serve to distract from the real issues at hand. It's a baseless accusation designed to sow fear and distrust. These tactics aim to undermine the public's confidence in their leaders and the democratic process itself. Harris's record speaks for itself. Her actions and policies have always been geared towards building a more inclusive and fair society. She is a champion of democracy, not a threat to it. Her unwavering dedication to the principles of justice and equality continues to inspire and lead the nation towards a brighter future. Section 6. Safeguarding truth, a collective responsibility. We live in an era of information overload. Misinformation spreads like wildfire online. Platforms like Joe Rogan's have a responsibility to combat this. Fact-checking is not optional, it's essential. Listeners also have a role to play. We must be critical consumers of information. We must verify what we hear, especially from influential figures. Democracy thrives on an informed citizenry. Let's be vigilant in our pursuit of truth.